it is really hard to find a man who's willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship.
So liberal women are struggling to find traditional men who hold the door for them and pay for the first date and have chivalry if it isn't the consequences of their own actions.
And now, you deal with the consequences.
Let's talk about it. So I've seen this video that's going viral on TikTok of this woman talking about a realization she's had within dating. But before we get into that, please like and subscribe. I want as many people to find this channel as possible so you know what to do. Let's watch the video.
As a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who's willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age. Who is not a conservative? A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence, and I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role.
Okay, let's pause there for a second. Who's to say that conservative women don't have all of the things that she just stipulated she wants out of a relationship? Is she insinuating that conservative women don't have autonomy over themselves within their relationships, that they're just confined to certain roles? I'm not sure who she's meeting who is confirming this for her. I'm in a relationship with a conservative man. I'm still working. I'm here on YouTube. You guys can see me right now. I'm not chained to the kitchen sink. And all of the conservative men that I know who have women or are married, their wives are also working. They're out achieving their own things. They're pursuing their own passions, and they have yet to be confined to a childbearing role. So what I'm hearing from her, so far at least, is a caricature of what she believes conservatives are. And I'm curious if she's actually going out and meeting these conservative men and actually seeing where this goes in a relationship. She puts in the video, FYI, I can deal with a moderate, but a hard, staunch Republican, I don't know if I could do it. Again, you can be conservative philosophically, which means you would be willing to take on that traditionally masculine role with the chivalry and the put in the jacket in the puddle and all that great stuff that women want, even though they say they don't.
I thought you said you weren't hungry.
Oh my God, it's one fry. I can have one fry.
That doesn't necessarily make him Republican. And I think that's something that people have yet to realize. I am traditionally conservative. Am I registered Republican? Nope.
And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
That's a fair question. At least she's being sort of honest in her pursuit of an answer on this. She's asking, am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Yeah.
In the red pill movement and the high value men and the high value women arguments that we're having these days, people are constantly going back and forth about what it is we're giving to relationships, what we're getting out of relationships. You'll constantly hear that question, what are you bringing to the table? While I think when we boil it down to real relationships, people aren't really squabbling over what's brought to the table. It is a question to ask yourself if you're in pursuit of relationships and you're not finding the desired outcome with the men that you're dating, or you're having trouble finding a man who represents what you want out of life. What is it that you're bringing to the table? Clearly she's working and she's got passions and things like that, but it doesn't sound like she wants to take on that role of child rearing, although maybe she'll reassess as time goes on. But if men are looking for that, and that is informing where they go for dates and the sort of women they pursue, what is in it for them in pursuing a liberal woman, especially if they have this caricature of conservative men that paints them as evil or lacking in moral value, if she stated in this video. If I was a conservative man, I'd stay far away from liberal women if that's not what I'm looking for. But there's an interesting thing here in that what she's saying is, I want the traditional parts of the relationship. I want those gender role dynamics with my relationships, but I don't want the political views that typically come when you hold those values near and dear to your heart. The man is congruent in his beliefs. A traditionally masculine man who wants to provide for a woman, hopefully have some children, and maybe she stays at the house, is more than likely going to be conservative because his morals, his values, and probably his upbringing informs his political opinion. But right now, her morals and her values are not really making sense with what she's asking for out of a relationship. Now, do I think she's up Schitt's Creek and she's not going to find a man who is going to have all these qualifications that she's wanting them to meet? Of course not. I think there are quote unquote liberal men who would agree with her philosophically and politically and are willing to provide for her, but they might be a little bit harder to come by in that political camp, if I'm being honest. That just might be what you're dealing with here. And I don't think our relations politically have ever been as tense as they are now. It used to be that you could date people who you disagreed with politically because that wasn't the heart and center of who you are as a person. It wasn't going to be a conversation that you were going to be having every single day. You weren't constantly going to be arguing about the state of the world and this politician and this piece of policy or this cultural issue. But now it seems as though that is what people are putting at the forefront for finding a partner who they want to date or build a long-term relationship with. And that's kind of sad, right? We're seeing people break up their relationships over politics, stop talking to family members over politics, when we used to live in a world where people were getting married on different ends of the political spectrum and their love superseded the arguments that they would have.
Get out of my face or I'm gonna roundhouse your ass.
But I want to read through some of these comments because people are pissed on both ends of the spectrum here. One person says, people in these comments are being obtuse. It ain't hard to find a man to respect women and their independence while still being a gentleman. Yeah, I typically call that a conservative guy. But that's just me. I get it. You want a liberal guy who also fulfills these roles. That's fine. The next one says, I want traditional, but don't want to be traditional. Also not conservative. I want to get splashed by water, but not get wet. LOL. Make it make sense, please. I want everything, but will give nothing back. Which is something I want to think about here and break down just as a logistics question, right? If you're a liberal woman who is working, you're girl bossing, you're making all this money, and you also want a man to provide for you and take on that traditional role of provide, protect, and the chivalry, the opening of the door and stuff. What is he getting in return? Good company, probably. Good conversation, and hopefully somebody that he loves to be around. But where is the push and pull there? Because right now you're only getting provided for. What is he getting in return from you outside of your company? Like if he's spending all this money and you have a whole ass job.
Never half-ass two things. Whole ass one thing.
Are you just keeping all your money in the bank and not contributing it to your own relationship? Is that what you have to deal with? I would have a few questions if I was a man. I just thought this video was interesting. It seems like at the end of the day, what's truly getting in this woman's way is not the fact that conservative men are running around and she can't find a liberal man with traditional values. It's the fact that she's painted a picture of what she thinks conservative means.
Anybody can paint.
And to her, that means lacking in morals, lacking in values, and having a politically incorrect opinion. If she broadened her horizons a little bit and started to see why it is that she is both attracting, it seems, conservative men and is attracted to conservative men, maybe she'll open up her world to a whole new set of possibilities in dating in long-term relationships. And maybe that road and that avenue leads to a conservative man. You never know. Maybe there's a reason that these men that have a certain set of values or political leanings treat you so well. But guys, what are your thoughts? Are you having the same problem as the girl in this TikTok video? Are you dating conservatively, liberally? Do you not care about politics when it comes to dating? Are you having your own dating struggles that have nothing to do with politics? Drop that in the comments down below. And as always, we encourage healthy debate, so duke it out, but do so respectfully. Please like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every single day. And maybe conservative men aren't so bad.